Hey guys! So with the success, I guess, of my last Lord quilt, I had a bunch of people asking me, how I did it and whether I would be willing to share like a video or even just an explanation. So here I am. I decided to make some videos on my next few quilts. Kind of a paint with me / quilt with me type thing. Kind of a tutorial, but also kind of not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of just making it up as I go along. But yeah, either way, it'll be a lot of fun. So for this video, the quilt I'm actually going to make is another painted quilt, like I did the Lord one, but this time it's going to be Harry Styles' album cover. I'm going to a couple of his shows this summer on his tour, and so I really wanted to make another album cover quilt since I had so much fun with the last one and I loved it so much and other people loved it so much that I really wanted to do it again. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll be as lucky as I was with my Lord quilt, or maybe not. Yeah, so this one will be better than my Lord one because my Lord one I wasn't actually planning on making a whole tutorial video while I made the quilt. So this one I'll be actively recording my progress and my actions and everything, so it'll be actually easier to follow than my Lord quilt video. Yeah, you should still check it out. It'll be a pretty good precursor into this video. I kind of explain everything there on the quilt and the process of it, and here we really kind of get down into the nitty-gritty. So yeah, here we go. So like I said, that this painting is actually a quilt. So here I took my two pieces of fabric and sewed them together to form a square piece of fabric, and then project the picture onto the fabric to get a nice proportional outline. And then I actually ended up using Jacquard textile paint this time. I ended up making my own fabric paint like I did with the Lord one eventually, but for this one I started out with Jacquard textile paint, and I'll put a link to where you can order that in the bio. So after I got all my paints ready and I did the rough outline, I started to paint. I put the fabric up on a wall because I didn't feel like painting on the ground again and hurting my back because I'm an old woman. And so I had my canvas up on the wall. I mixed my paints together to form the appropriate skin tones and stuff, and then just got to it. So like I said, with this quilt, I started out with actual fabric paint. I bought some on Amazon, but I just really was not a fan of the consistency, and the jars of textile paint were only 2 ounces, and I was going to need a lot more paint to do this whole artwork this size, and so I ended up making my own fabric paint again using the same recipe as I did with the Lord quilt, because it was just cheaper and easier for me to make my own paint in the exact consistency I needed rather than keep ordering and watering down textile paint. With this quilt, I had like a realistic photo to go off of. Now with my Lord one, it was an actual painting that I was pretty much copying on the fabric. This one was a lot harder for me because it was photorealistic, my base. So I had to kind of abstract the painting in my own mind and in order to paint it, because I wasn't going to be able to paint it exactly photorealistic with the textile paint and just fabric. This was my favorite part. I loved going in and doing the details on the tattoos. Even when I did the freckles, I said that I felt like I was a dermatologist checking in for skin cancer or something, because I was in so close doing all these small little details. It was really fun to go in and have to be really meticulous with the tattoos. At this point, I kind of go in and just make sure I have all the details right. Like, I add in the freckles and add in the exact shadowing through his hair and the water droplets. And this, I really wanted to go in, and while the whole thing kind of is abstract, I still wanted to have a lot of detail in it. After I finished the painting, I took it and put it in my sewing machine and quilted it. I did free motion quilting to follow kind of the shapes and contours and shadows throughout the quilt to give it more depth, and it turned out into this beautiful quilt that I was incredibly proud of. And okay, so my video was supposed to end there. I was going to make like an update video, but I figured, why do in 2 videos what I can do in 1? Here's my little update. Okay, so my concert was his Atlanta show at the Infinite Energy Center. I had general admission pit. I get there at 4:30 in the morning. Me and my friend were ready. We were gonna camp out all day. Then security told us they're doing a lottery, so blah blah blah. After the whole stupid lottery thing, we ended up 20th in line. Now, that morning when I got there, they had security come and tell us all about the lottery thing. I went to the security lady and I asked her if I would be able to bring a blanket into the venue because I didn't see anything on their rules online. She asked me, why I wanted to bring a blanket in. She was kind of suspicious. And so I explained the whole thing. I showed her the quilt and I was like, I really want to be able to give this to him. I know he runs down through the crowd when he goes to B stage, and I would love to be able to hand this to him. And I showed her my Lord quilt and everything, and she's like, well, we can't let you bring the blanket in because it could be seen as a banner. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I was pretty disappointed. Then she was like, but if you give it to me, I'll give it to him. And I was like, word? And she was like, promise. And I was like, okay, are you actually gonna give it to him? Or are you gonna do the thing that security guards do where they say, yeah, I'll give this to him, and then like it never sees the light of day? She's like, no, I will hand deliver it to his head of security. I was like, okay, Judy, I'm relying on you now. She's like, I promise. If for some reason I can't give it to him, it'll be in guest services at the end of the night. I promise. It'll either go back to you or it'll go to him. I was like, okay. And so I gave it to her that morning, and I spent the whole day refusing to think about it because I didn't want my hopes to get up. And all my friends were like, he's probably backstage cuddled up with her right now. And I was like, shh, shh, shh. I didn't want to think about it. 6:30 p.m. rolls around and we're being let into the venue. Now, like I said, I'm 20th in line. So like, I'm super hype. I know I'm going to get a good spot. I'm like, I'm going to get 2nd or 3rd row. This is going to be amazing. And I was so excited. And we get to the door and they scan our tickets and our tickets don't work. The barcode was canceled. They have to take us to the box office. Now, at this point, again, I'm crying. This was literally the worst thing that could have happened. And we're losing our spots in line. Long story short, someone ordered the pit tickets and then their order got canceled, but they still put the pit tickets online. We bought them resale. So we got scammed, basically. The venue guy was like, the only thing I can do for you is you'll have to buy a new ticket. I said, okay, well, do you have any other pit tickets left? He's like, no. But I am nothing if not determined. I was like, fine, I'll buy your seats. But in my mind, I was like, I'm making it down to that pit one way or another. So then we realized we don't have our wallets on us. So I run a half mile in like 4-inch heels to the truck, grab my wallet, and then run the half mile back into the box office. We get our new seats. That morning, when we got our spots in line, they gave us pretty little green wristbands. As they saw that green little wristband and they're like, oh, your pit, go down the stairs. And I was like, okay, bet. So I go down the stairs and I'm going through it. I get down to the bottom of the stairs and I trip going down the stairs because I'm super graceful. I kind of trip into someone and I look, and who is it? It's Harry Styles' head of security. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's your name? And he laughs and he's like, I think you know what my name is. And I was like, yeah, guilty. And we were kind of laughing about it for a second. And I was like, hey, I sent a quilt this morning. And he goes, yeah, of the album cover. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I gave it to him. He has it. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I gave it to him this morning. He loved it. He said he'll cherish it. And I was like, And he's like, yeah, he has it. He had it backstage today and he loved it. I'm like freaking out internally and I'm trying to keep it together. And I was like, thank you so much, because we had a train wreck with our tickets, so this means a lot. And he's like, yeah, no problem. It was amazing. Good work. And I was like, yeah. And that was as we're walking into the pit. So I walk into the pit and I see my friends. They're like second row, and they swore they were holding our spots to us. But anyone who's gone to a general admission concert knows getting in front of people is like not a thing. But I just was like explaining to everyone, I was like, I promise I was here, my tickets were a scam, blah blah, those are my friends. And they're like, yeah, go. Everyone was like so incredibly nice. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. I'm like 6 foot tall in these heels, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. So anyway, we end up second row, and I told them the whole quilt thing, and everyone's freaking out. Then halfway through the concert, I kind of made like this really sketchy, kind of scary sign that said, I made the quilt. So this was a sign that I made. It looks like a ransom note. I just found a piece of paper on the ground and I kept asking around for a marker. So I'm holding that up during the concert, and all my friends around me are pointing. He was like talking to this girl about her birthday. He kind of got distracted and looked down and saw my sign, and he read it and he goes, thank you. And we're like, oh, freaking out.
Thank you.
He told me thank you. Like, no words. Anyway, and then after the concert, I realized I was watching my videos again, as you do. At the end of the concert, he came directly to me like, thank you again. Those 2 words. We love a well-mannered man. So yeah, Harry got the quilt and thanked me for it and spoke to me. It was amazing. So subscribe for more wild quilting adventures like this one. Bye!